thought you had failed.
Yes, yes. I felt that I didn't done my homework enough to convince them that I'm one of them. And that's where the tears just ran down in my eyes.
When they came back, what did you think?
When they came back, shocking enough to see somebody, the person that they was talking about, it's somebody that I know from the village. And I recognized, and it was a happy moment in my life, even though the happy moment was still ahead to me to go and see my loved ones. When I saw him, I was so happy. But unfortunately, that individual broke down in tears crying, simply because my father did put an offer 10 cow in my disappearance, that he asking everybody, anybody, anyone who knows, who saw that his sons, where he is about, that person will be given 10 cow. 10 cow in Sudan is a big thing. 2.5 years passed by, nobody came to claim the 10 cow. And then my parents went on to put together funerals that their son is no longer alive, since nobody came to them to come and claim the 10 cows. And the funeral was being put together, that I was being considered as a dead person. And that is the reason that individual, he broke down in tears, because he could not believe his eye that seeing somebody who is already being considered as a dead child.
Did they take you then? What did you do?
He was the one who promised me that I have to go back to the family without telling them what happened, because according to him, he advised me, if I tell them anything, these people will take me somewhere in which he will not get hold of me. He told me that just be calm, make everything as usual, and every day I will see you in this location to make sure that I'm in contact with you while I'm working in the process of getting you out of here. And he was the one who took me out from the slavery without informing the family that enslaved me at that time.
How hard was it to not say anything when you go back to this family and you know that somebody knows you? You know this is your family. You know you're going back home. Well, you think you're going back home, but you can't say a word to your slave owners.
You know, to me at that time, counting down the days, because the days and counting down to me is by the sunrise to sunset. It was always to me that when will the night will come and the morning will come, so I will go and see that individual again on a daily basis. And to me, it becomes to the point that where I have to get up so early to me that the sun is not coming out very quick, so that I cannot wait to see that person to who happened, that now I see the people that one of the loved one to me, because he's happened to come from my village, somebody that I related to. But the harder part was that when will that moment come so I will get out of there.
When you finally had the day, when he came to you and said, "This is the day," do you remember that day?
I will never forget that day. I will still remember this place, location, and the time now I didn't, because I don't know how to tell the time. But I know the place. Even I will never, even every time when I got out of slavery, usually what I have to do is go to see that the same street, the same place, and the same, even that there is changing in that place, in that city now. But I have always go back and make sure that I will not forget the location and the place, and especially how I left and the place, how I got into that city in the first place. And even here for my trips, probably if I get a chance, but I'm not better don't talk about it.
If you finish that, you go home. Did you see your family? Were they there? What happened?
When I went home, I remember walking into the house and see my sister, and my sister scream, jump up, left everything that she was doing, crying, screaming, my brother in my names, in which my mom was inside the house, came out. She could not even stand. She fall down, crying. It was like she's crying and she's not crying. She's screaming. It was a moment that it's a terrifying moment. It was a happy moment. It was a terrifying moment to them, and it was a happy moment. It was two things together: the happiness to see the loved one, and terrifying to see somebody that they assume is dead, and they cry that he is dead, and now it's appearing in their eyes. It was tough, especially on my mom.
Your father?
He took it like a gentleman. He took it like a gentleman. The tears ran down his eyes, and he took it like a gentleman.
How do you overcome that?
To me, when I saw my loved ones, I make sure that I have to put everything behind me. Make sure that I will not even think about what I went through. I always think about what I can get into the hands of my dad and mom, brothers and sisters as loved ones. Enjoy the moment and forget the darkness. And that's what the scenes. It was not easy to forget, but I did make sure that I have to forget it very quick, so that to fit into what I miss in 3.5 years, the love from the loved ones, the happiness from the family, and the joy from the neighborhood.
How long did it take before you had the markings of your tribe?
The tribal marks, yes. It took within the 2 months. I went to the village. We was in the city now. I went to the village. The first thing I do, without telling my dad, is I went to the man who is specialized on doing this to put those tribal marks. Simply because I did that, not because I want to do it, but I have to do it because it was those tribal marks that got me out from the slavery. If I didn't show somebody with those tribal marks, I wouldn't be here today. I would be being somewhere in the north, carrying an Arab name, being a son of somebody else, which not biological mom, in which I was not by choice, but I was forced to, because I was being offered a way out. To be treated like a human being, I have no options. To take 1, convert to Islam; 2, give an Arab name; 3, become their sons. I come close to convert to Islam. I come close to take the Arab name, but what kept me far away to those 2 is the third one. And the third one, how can I become their sons? At the time I have a lovely mother and a wonderful father, lovely brothers and sisters, come from a lovely family. At the time I was treated like a human being with love and care, and now I'm being treated worse than the animals. And then they have an audacity to take my identity, in which that I have to become their son. That one was very difficult, and that one was the one kept me away from taking the 2. Even though if I would have taken the Arab names and become convert to Islam, they would have put me in school automatically at the same time. But